This is Chris McKaylee with a video podcast on the three readings of a bill. If you're not familiar with this, the California Constitution requires every bill to be read 3 times before it can be debated and voted upon in either house of the Assembly or Senate. And a reading of a bill is defined as being the presentation of the bill before the House by reading the bill's number, author, and title. And each time the bill is read, those three provisions are read aloud on the floor by the reading clerk in either the Senate or Assembly unless waived. Now, there's a misconception that the three constitutionally required readings of the bill are the same, but in fact, each is different and serves a different purpose. The first reading occurs upon introduction of the bill. The second reading occurs after a bill has been reported to the floor from committee with or without amendments. And then third reading occurs when the measure is about to be taken up on the floor of either house for its final passage. Note that the three readings requirement, even though it's provided for in the Constitution, can be suspended by a 2/3 vote in either house pursuant to Article 4. Now, let's explain in a little greater detail the three readings. Again, first reading. The first reading of the bill takes place when the bill is actually introduced in either house. So the bill is placed across the desk, the Assembly desk or the Senate desk, which is the official act of introducing a bill in the legislature. In the Assembly, the chief clerk or his or her representative at the Assembly desk receives the measure, and the bill is given a bill number upon introduction. The same occurs in the Senate, where the Secretary of the Senate or his or her representative accepts the bill for introduction and gives it a bill number. Once the bill passes over to the other house for consideration, it's simply read for the first time. And introduced bills are noted in the daily journal. Keep in mind that there's no first reading portion of either the Assembly daily file or the Senate daily file. So they're noted in the daily journal. And no floor analysis or committee analysis is prepared yet. Second reading. The second reading of the bill takes place after the bill has been reported out of committee, either a policy committee or fiscal committee, to the floor. In other words, a bill can be on the second reading file more than one time, particularly if it is heard and reported out of a policy committee, a fiscal committee, perhaps even a second or third policy committee. So again, second reading occurs whether the bill has been amended or not in committee. So a bill can in fact be on second reading several times, such as when it's been reported out of both the policy and the fiscal committee. There is a second reading file portion of both the Assembly daily file as well as the Senate daily file. And this portion of the daily file lists bill by file number when it's in the daily file and it's been reported out to the floor. The general rule is that a bill remains on the second reading file for just one day before moving back to the fiscal committee, for example, or onto the third reading file. And no floor analysis is prepared for a bill that's on second reading. Third reading, which is the final reading. The third reading takes place when the bill is about to be taken up for consideration, for presentation by the author, debate, and then ultimate vote on either the floor of the state assembly or the state senate. And there's of course a third reading portion in both the Assembly and Senate daily files. And this portion lists by file number each bill that's eligible to be taken up for a final vote on the floor of the Assembly or Senate. A third reading analysis is prepared for bills eligible for consideration on the third reading file of the Assembly or Senate floors. And this analysis generally provides an explanation of existing law, what the bill proposes to do, amendments that have been taken. On the Senate side, a list of supporters and opponents, and certainly in both floor analyses, the major arguments of the author, the proponents, as well as the opponents of a bill. So those are the three readings of a bill.